Hey scholars, so on next week we're going to start talking about something called biographies and autobiographies. And you probably have heard that from second grade, or it kind of sounds familiar to you, which is great. Okay, so let's get started. This is going to be a quick video over narrative nonfiction. Okay, so narrative nonfiction, the purpose is to recount true events or series of events. And all that means is it's talking about events, and it's just telling a story about events, whether that's current events or about someone's life. Okay, so there's different types of narrative nonfiction. The first is history, then we have biography, autobiography, a memoir, newspaper article, journal, or diary. But what I really want us to focus on is the biography and the autobiographies. So take a look at this book. So this guy right here is Willie Mays. He was a famous baseball player. You can tell that by the picture. And this is an example of a biography. Okay? A biography is a story about someone's life. And a biography is written in third person, and we're going to talk more about that a little later. Third person, all that means is that someone else wrote this book. Someone else wrote this book about Willie Mays. And then in the classroom library that we have here, we have a lot of books like Hank Aaron, that's another baseball player, Martin Luther King. There's a lot of books that are actually biographies, and it's about someone's life. Okay, and we're going to take a deep dive into that on next week. Another thing I really want us to focus on, autobiographies. An autobiography is about the author's life. That means that if Willie Mays wrote this book, he's considered the author, so it wouldn't be a biography anymore, it would be an autobiography. So the autobiography is when the author writes about themselves, okay? And if the author writes about themselves, that's considered first person, okay? And we're going to talk about that more a little later. First person means that that person is actually talking. They're saying, I was born and I grew up in, okay? They're talking about themselves. That's autobiography. In a biography, someone else wrote the story about someone else's life. Okay? So, that's it. Narrative nonfiction, there's different types, but we're really going to hit biography and autobiography. And history, well, we know that that's past events, okay? The history, things that happened in the past. A memoir is about one time or event in the author's life. So it's only about one time in the author's life and not their entire life. Okay. A newspaper article, that's about current events. You probably have newspapers at your house. We have a social studies newspaper here in class. So it's about current events. Okay. Lastly, we have a journal or a diary. Some of you guys already know what that is. And it's just about daily events in the author's life. For example, I have a diary, so that's daily events about my life. Okay, so narrative nonfiction. Please feel free to watch this video, definitely more than once, so that you can really understand what's a biography and autobiography. I will be sending the Kahoot. Please play the Kahoot. Okay, so that's really going to make this information stick in your brain. Okay, you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you guys next week.